Hello, friends. Welcome back to Java and Joy. We're going to talk today about how to manage stress after 40. But we're also going to talk about how we're going to do that without overhauling our entire life, which is two different things, right? So I am excited to do this episode because every woman I talk to over 40 is stressed. Every single one of them at some point or another. And it is true. Over 40, stress hits differently. It's just different. It's different for multiple reasons, which we'll get into that as well. But stress just feels different after 40. So we're going to talk about how we can actually manage that stress without literally overhauling our entire life to do so. So settle in, deep breaths, release any tension or worries and all that stress that you have right now. Put a pin in it, move it over to the side, just set it somewhere different for right now. This is your time to focus on you. You can pick that pin up, as soon as this episode is over. But for now, just relax and enjoy some you time. Let's talk, as we always do at the beginning of our episodes, about, our joy moments of the week. The Garden Day Karmer, Carla's Garden, whatever we want to title that, is done. She's done. The expansion is complete. My hubby knocked it out of the park. By the way, it looks so good. And I've already planted some cucumbers, some zucchini, and some squash. I got another batch of green onions and some chives in there. And then here in a couple weeks, I'll get to plant like my kale, and I'll get some broccoli and Brussels and some spinach a couple weeks after that. Just waiting for the right planting times for those. But the arched trellises are in. They look beautiful. Everything is organic. The soil is all organic. All organic materials were used for building. All untreated cedar for building the actual garden. If you're not on social media with me, go to Carla Joy Wellness on Instagram. You can even go to my little highlight bubble on there. I kind of captured as much as I could of the process of expanding the garden there. And I'm always showing my daily life and story. So if you kind of want to see behind the scenes of what goes on in my world, make sure you're on Instagram, follow me, checking those stories every 24 hours, and then the highlight bubbles. I will be posting a reel that kind of shows, like the time lapse sped up version of the garden expansion from beginning to end. A lot of you were asking about my herb garden. I have a reel up from how to do an herb garden, and it's also been added to my blog. That is an indoor herb garden. It shows you how to get started on one of those very easily, and I love having fresh herbs year round. And speaking of blog, it's there. The entire thing is finally there. Now, I will be adding more to every single category as we go now, but there's recipes, there's home stuff, organization, garden, there's some self-care in there for you, resource guides that are free to you to use for multiple different things. It's all there on my blog. So go to carlajoywellness.com, enjoy all those free resources and more to come. And we have the holidays around the corner. So, I'm going to be, adding fall decor, fall recipes, same thing going into the, Christmas holidays. So be on the lookout for all of those things for sure. But I'm excited to see that blog finally up and running. Yes, I built it myself. Yes, I did the coding. Yes, I manage my own website. A lot of people ask me that. How do I do it? With lots of time, patience, Googling, YouTubing, just figuring out how to do it all, honestly. So that's the control freak in me who loves to do everything herself, for better or for worse. So anyway, that's up and running too. So that's probably another, I say, a second joy moment because it's there and it's going. So yay on that. So, and if you guys don't know, if you are listening right now, you can also watch me on YouTube with these episodes. I put those up there as well. So if you're a visual person, you can go there. And then I'm also on the radio in Atlanta and then all major podcast stations. So we're kind of everywhere now doing everything. So, which is overwhelming, but exciting. And I'm just so blessed to be doing what I love. So thank you to all of you that just, this makes this possible for me every single day. So that is my joy moments, plural, of the week. Keep sharing yours. Post everything that you enjoy doing on social media, you guys. Social media needs positivity. It needs people showing happiness and joy and things they love doing. The more we flood it with positivity, the more that negative gets drowned out. And you never have to put your face in these. You can just show like a picture of your garden or your picture of your cup of coffee or your gratitude journal or whatever it is. But do that. Pay forward that joy. And feel free to tag me at Carla Joy Wellness in those, especially on Instagram. I love sharing those on my Instagram, like stories, and sharing those out for my community to see and to pay that forward as well. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. So on that note, let's dive in to how to manage stress after 40, shall we? Are we ready? Let's take a sip of Java before we, commence to start. Maybe we get two. That's good. That's good coffee. And let's get going. Okay. So if you find yourself thinking, why does stress feel so different now that I'm 40? You're not crazy, first of all. It does. If it feels like little things are starting to feel overwhelming that never used to, or if you're just feeling exhausted, even though you haven't even done that much, you are not alone. This is a very common thread in women over 40. This is something that almost every woman experiences, and we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it enough. And managing stress after 40 is different. The good news is, and I can tell you from personal experience here, as well as some clients that I've worked with, managing stress does not mean, I need to take an entire wellness retreat. You don't have to spend 2 hours a day meditating. These are going to be small habits where you can help your body feel safe again. Because what's happening is there's lots of internal things happening that are affecting your external habits. And then that is trickling into why you feel so stressed. So let's talk about why that stress feels different first. And for that part, realize that this part of life, we're managing a lot. So not only are we balancing careers and families and relationships, maybe we have aging parents we're taking care of. Maybe you have teenagers that are exhausting you. It can be finances, just countless responsibilities going on during this time in our life. So there's that right off the bat. And then on top of that, our bodies are changing. And as we know, estrogen, progesterone, those things are fluctuating during perimenopause and into menopause. And those things are automatically going to affect your mood, your sleep, your energy levels. And that affects how resilient we become to stress. So that's why little things that never used to bother you suddenly completely overwhelm you. And when that chronic stress starts to stick around, it just adds to the poor sleep, increased belly fat, digestive issues, inflammation, elevated blood pressure. Anxiety, brain fog, you name it, is all being extra triggered because of that stress. So our goal here is not going to be to eliminate stress. That's impossible. You can't live life and not have stress there. It's just not realistic to go at it that direction. But what we're going to do is learn how to recover from stress more efficiently so it doesn't have such a negative toll on our bodies, on our energy, on our moods, right? So first and foremost, how you start your morning matters. And I just want to say right now, go to my video on YouTube. It is literally what I consider the perfect morning routine for women over 40. So that's really going to go in depth with you with some great ideas on how to start your morning. But the main takeaway I want you to do, and even if you don't want to go, watch the whole video, just remember that before you check any emails in the mornings, before you turn on social media, before you consume any form of news, whether that's through your phone, a newspaper, whatever, you need to have at least 5 minutes of quiet time for you. And this can be, gratitude journaling. You can pray. You can sip your coffee and watch the sunrise. You can just take a few deep breaths, hug yourself. Doesn't matter. But this will, and scientifically proven, to set the tone for your day. It creates a way of you signaling to your body and your brain of how you want this day to go. If you start the day with immediately consuming media or consuming anything negative or giving your attention to anything but yourself, that is teaching yourself that that is going to be the priority for the day. So you need to shift that 5 minutes disconnected and only being with yourself. Okay? 5 minutes is not that long. You can do that. Okay? But I highly recommend going and checking out that video. It's called The Perfect Morning Routine for Women Over 40. So right off the bat, just remember how you start each day will affect how you end each day, how you move throughout that day. Okay? Secondly is moving your body through the day. I am not talking about rigorous exercise here. Okay. So please don't think you have to go run miles and you got to do all this like lifting. I'm not talking about any of that, but exercise is proven as one of the best stress relievers that we have available to us. It is free. It reduces it increases all the happy hormones, like the endorphins and things that flow through your body and just make you kind of like, giddy, so to speak. But it doesn't have to be intense movement. We're talking, you can garden, and that is movement. You can do gentle stretching. You can dance around your kitchen while you're cooking. All that's going to count. Just taking a walk. Obviously, running and yoga and strength training are all great. Movement is medicine, people. Movement is medicine. Okay? It really kind of is like a cure-all for all. It matters. So get moving as much as possible throughout a day. And don't look at it as like, go get 10,000 steps. That doesn't even sound fun. That's just like, all right, I'm going to get some steps. Movement can be fun, and it can be a lot easier than trying to track 10,000 steps. And I'm not discrediting getting 10,000 steps a day. There is science that backs that up. Getting at least that many steps a day can have all kinds of positive impacts on your health. But I'm saying, like, look at movement a little differently. Look at movement as something joyful instead of like a chore. So like I said, just dancing around your kitchen or doing things in your garden. That's all movement, and it's all things that can actually be fun and enjoyable, and it doesn't feel like exercise, okay? So move your body. And I will say, if you didn't hear last week's episode, I did a personal episode last week on why I run. And the underlying thread in that is movement brings joy. Okay, so if you want a little insight into me, why I run, kind of what makes me tick, so to speak, some of the hardships I've been through life and how I've come through those, go listen to last week's Why I Run episode. But remember that the key there is like the movement part is the underlying thread, and movement is medicine. Okay, so don't discredit movement, ladies. All right. Third, prioritizing whole foods. This includes protein, fiber. Okay, we know how important protein is. We know how important fiber is. But I just want you to think of it as prioritizing whole, nutritious food. Focus on fueling your body. Focus on nourishing your body, giving it the things it needs to thrive. Not focusing on taking things away, what it shouldn't have, what's quote unquote bad. Focus on putting things into your body on a daily basis that is real fuel, things that are good with lots of vitamins and minerals and all the good things for us, okay? Because stress places extra demand on your body. And if you're not eating correctly and getting the fuel that you really need, your blood sugar is going to be all over the place. You're going to lose muscle mass, just so many different things. And your energy is just going to suck because of it, right? So getting in the fuel that you actually need will actually help you operate properly. Take care of your body. It will take care of you. Okay? Obviously, food can't eliminate stress, but it can help your body manage it and handle it and recover from it much better. Much better. Okay? Number 4, protect your sleep. Sleep is where everything repairs. And I'm going to be doing a sleep series coming up, because I'm telling you, sleep. it is where everything resets and recharges and replenishes and renews and revives. All the R words, okay? It's the thing we need the most. And it's important that you create a proper bedtime routine. Things like dimming the lights early, putting away your phone, before, not right before you go to bed, but an extended period of time before you go to bed, keeping the room at the proper temperature, doing the doom scrolling before bed, doing something positive right before you go to sleep. Again, this could be a gratitude journal. It could be deep breaths. It could be stretching, whatever, but doing something like that, kind of like taking the 5 minutes at the beginning of the day, set your tone for the day, right? But if you take 5 minutes at the end of the day, it'll kind of help set the tone for your sleep. Okay? So good sleep is one of the best investments you can make in your health. Good sleep. When you are well rested, your body functions better. You make better decisions throughout the day, and you're just able to react to everything going on around you, including that stress, so much better. So much better. Okay? So protect your sleep. It is sacred, ladies. Another thing I want you to focus on here, learning to say no. Did you know you can say no, ladies? Do we know this? Do we know that we can say no? Sometimes I forget that I can say no, and that sucks. Sometimes one of the biggest causes of stress for us is not what we're doing, it's we're doing too much. There are only so many hours in a day, and you can say no to certain things. Not everything has to be a yes. Saying yes to another obligation might mean saying no to your health, right? So you have to protect your peace, which we hear that all the time, which is probably an overused phrase at this point. But just know that you don't have to earn rest. It's not, oh, I can rest if I get this done. It absolutely has to be flipped. We have to start saying, I have to get this rest so that I can do these things properly. So it kind of ties into the sleep too, but by rest, I mean breaks throughout the day. Like, go take a walk, get away from the desk for a few minutes kind of thing. Put your feet up for a few minutes, between, work and dinner, or from dinner and whatever chores you need to do before bed, or so on and so on. But taking those little breaks and quit filling up every single day with every little activity that we get asked to do. Because we can say no. And here's the best part. If you're one of those people who just feel guilty, what do I say? Do I just say no, I don't want to? No, you just say, I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity for that right now. But if something comes up or changes, I will let you know. It's honest, it's easy, and no one can argue that. Now, obviously, there's things that we have to do. Like we have to go to work, there's things that are non-negotiable, but I'm talking about all the extra stuff that you might get asked to do that you just don't have to do. You don't have to do everything for everybody all the time. I know it's weird to think that as a woman, because that's what we're kind of trained to do, and that's how we're trained to think, but you can say no. And I'm not saying just start saying no to everybody, don't do anything for anyone, but just finding a healthy balance. When you feel like you're getting on that verge of burnout, listen to your body, honor it, and take a freaking break. Okay? Take a break. Learn to say no. This is your permission, ladies, to say no. Okay? The next thing is spending time outside. And this is one I'm working on personally this week, by the way. In our Joy Circle community, every week we kind of take a pledge, or we talk about at the beginning of the week, what do we want to do for ourselves this week? Something. It could be anything. Last week I wanted to try new recipes, which I did 3, which was great. This week I'm doing grounding, which I've done grounding in the past, and then winter came and I just stopped, and I haven't done it since. So I'm wanting to get back into the grounding thing and just being present, barefoot outside. And it's really just not even about the grounding. It's just forcing myself to just be outside. And by telling myself I'm going to go do grounding, it just gives me more motivation to just get outside instead of just, I'm standing outside for 10 minutes. I feel like I'm doing something productive, I guess. So whether it works or not, it's still getting me outside for an extended period of time each day so I can get that vitamin D, that fresh air. I do also like to go, for a walk every chance that I can, or just sit on my patio or lay in my hammock, play in my garden. Hey, just drinking my morning coffee outside or my afternoon coffee, just those 11 minutes, sometimes less, are just so perfect. There's times where I'm so exhausted. I don't think I can do anything else today. Let me just sit down and have this cup of coffee and try to get re-energized here. And 9 times out of 10, in that amount of time, I'm okay, let's go. Round 2, ding, 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 right? I feel recharged from that. So it's amazing what a 10-minute break can do for you. So it's just crazy that nature specifically, though, has an incredible way of somehow slowing us down, but then boosting us back up. It's insane. It's a real thing, and it's so true. So go out into the nature so that you can slow down for that minimal amount of time. Then you can get back at it and have way more energy and feel so much less stressed. It really does ground you, for better lack of words here. And when you can pull in that those calm moments in the day, it teaches your body to be calm, which helps you manage that stress. Okay. And then I recommend always practicing gratitude. For me, that's my 5 minutes of time in the morning, by the way, is practicing gratitude. But this can be done at any point of the day. It could be before bed. It could be lunch break. It could be after dinner with the family. It could be at dinner, go around the table, practice gratitude. But when your brain naturally only focuses on problems, it becomes intensified. It increases. It becomes the thing that takes up the space. So if you can start to gently redirect your mind and your attention towards something that is good and positive. Again, these don't have to be big things. You can be grateful for a good cup of coffee, guys. I sure am most days. You can be grateful because you had a conversation with a friend that day, or you got to see a beautiful sunset, or whatever. All the little moments will add up. But just by adding these little sprinkles of positivity like that, and reminding yourself that there's good in every single day and that you have things to be grateful for, it fills up that space, that same space that's currently been taken over by the negative stressors. And again, the more positivity you flood into those spaces, this is one of my favorite analogies, flood it with with positivity, it will drown out the negative. There's no space for negative if it's taken up by positive people. It's just fact. The mind can only hold so much at a time. And if you fill it with more positive, the negative will fade. Okay? So that's why it's so important to grab those pieces every single chance that you can. And by doing that, suddenly the stress is less because your brain is in a more positive mindset. And that again is going to release happy hormones, which is going to balance out the not so happy hormones. Okay. Another one is staying connected. This is one I struggle with probably the most. I become such a hermit. And I work from home, it's just one of those things, but stress will grow in isolation. Healing happens in community. So, and this is something I need to realize even more myself, is you don't even have to leave for this. You can just call a friend once a day. Someone every day, call somebody and talk to somebody about anything and everything. But that is going to create connections for you and keep you connected to things outside of your own mind. Okay. You could obviously do things outside of the home more often too. You can join book clubs and Bible studies and walking groups and, all these different things. Or you can even go meet somebody and have coffee instead of making that phone call, right? But connections are very, very healthy, and it is shown to greatly, greatly improve stress levels when you are surrounded by people. Isolation feeds negativity. Okay? It's you're kind of trapped in your own crazy thoughts, your own stressful things. And when you're around other people, you're forced to kind of focus on being present with them and hearing what they're going through even. And that pulls you out of your own stress. It forces you to ignore it a little bit, right? For that amount of time. And that's good. That's what you want. You want distractions. Okay. Um, but don't surround yourself with people if they're just going to be negative and pull you down and increase the stress. Okay. So just be very, very careful of that. But surround yourself with people who are positive, uplifting, people that you just, want to be around and that you always feel better after being around. Those are the people I would surround yourself with. So, but just know that those connections are great for, again, replacing some negativity with some positivity. Okay. And that's going to tie into the last one I want to talk about is literally just making time for joy, which includes those social interactions, by the way. But this is always going to be my favorite for those of you who don't already know. All of my coaching is based off what I call the joy method. That is how I coach. And that underlying thread is no matter what we're working towards. It might be a professional goal. It could be a health goal. Doesn't matter. We always start with joy every single day. And that's like, you could call it self-care in some of those instances, but joy isn't something that we wait for when life gets easier. Joy is something we choose every single day, and we have to be intentionally creating it throughout our day. And that can be reading a book, trying a new recipe, baking the cake, working in your garden, listening to music, laughing with your family, watching the sunset. These are all moments that are the things you're going to remember the most in life as your highlight reel, so to speak. Those are the things that are going to helpfully refill your emotional, social, and just all your self-care cups. These moments are not wasted time. These are all literally living, not surviving, not doing to-do lists. When you're finding your joy, you're living. That's when you're actually living your life. And every program that I teach, even if I'm just doing accountability coaching, things like that, we intentionally plug joy in at least once a day somewhere. That is like the underlying thread of everything I teach, that I coach, and that I believe. Because we cannot be living to work. Okay? We can't just be living to survive. We live to live. We live to enjoy our life. Okay? And if we aren't intentional about bringing in that joy, stress is going to take over. Stress is going to be what gets your time, your attention. So we have to, especially over 40, decide that stress isn't going to win and joy is. Okay? So something I want you to remember from this and all the things we just talked about, all these habits don't have to start tomorrow. Okay? Choose one, then add another, and remember that small habits repeated consistently, that's what's going to create lasting change for you. Progress is always better than perfection, no matter what you are doing. But if you really want to manage stress after 40, I do believe that these are the ways that we're going to do it. It's not going to be some week-long retreat. It's not going to be some cleanse that you do. It's not going to, yes, there are supplements and things that you can take to help manage stress, but it's not going to address the underlying root of it. It's not going to help you create and sustain healthy habits. And to be perfectly honest, by doing all these things, you're not even going to just manage stress. You're going to live a healthier life in general, and in turn have more joy. Just because you did the things on this list, you're going to automatically have more joy. And that inadvertently is going to reduce your stress, because you're going to be more focused on all these positive things that you're adding to your life. And I truly believe that if we stop trying to take things away from ourselves and punish ourselves and quit doing this or quit doing that, or don't eat too much of this, or if we started focusing on adding things to our life, like these 5-minute moments or a gratitude journal, or plugging in some grounding in the day, talking to friends, going to sleep a little earlier, you're automatically going to have a happier, better life. Just because you are taking care of yourself. You're prioritizing you, and that is where stress management is going to actually work. So instead of saying, oh, well, I'm just going to try to get rid of all the stress around me, or I'm going to wait to do this or that when I'm not so stressed, or I'm going to wait for a less stressful time. That's never going to happen. Life is not ever going to just not have any stress. You got to stop with the waiting, ladies. For everything you keep saying you're waiting for, we have to stop. Enough is enough. Not next Monday, not next summer, not vacation times, not any of these, none of that. This is something we do every single day. And I promise you, if you start focusing on these things, the stress levels are going to decrease over time. You're going to notice it happening by inserting that joy all the time. And honestly, I feel like everything we've talked about on this entire list today, it really is just about like adding joy to your life, getting the sleep, eating the right food, spending the time outside, spending the time with friends. It really is about finding your joy. Like when you have a good night's sleep, you are more joyful. Let's be honest. When you spend an afternoon with a friend having coffee, you are more joyful, right? So it's just like natural ways that if you really don't want to feel so stressed after 40, and again, stress is always going to be there, but it's not going to feel so intense. It's not going to feel so overwhelming. And it's not going to be so much where all these little things that you normally used to do, like clockwork, like do the laundry, check the mail, go get groceries, they're no longer going to suddenly feel like these like bombs being dropped on us. Like, and I don't know about you, but there's times where I will almost be in tears because I have to go to the store, or I look at my to-do list and I'm like, okay, I got to do the laundry, I got to do this. And I like lose it. And I'm like, these are things I've done forever. Why is it all of a sudden meltdown moments? And it's because we're already drained enough with what's going on in our bodies internally right now, ladies. And we have to be intentional on adding in all the good stuff to manage what's going on the inside so that the stress doesn't take over, so that we're not overly stimulated, right? So if you don't want to feel so stressed, right? If you don't want to have stress take over and you don't want it to be like the thing that controls you every single day or the thing that's holding you back every single day, these are the things that I honestly, truly believe that if we can start prioritizing, will be better. I know it's helped me tremendously. I know it has helped my clients tremendously with stress management. And if you look at statistically, I mean, science don't lie. Go look it up. The things that people who get this much sleep, this is their stress level. People who eat these kinds of foods, this is their stress level. People who have social lives, this is their stress level. You see a decrease in stress levels with all these things that people do properly. It's like documented stuff. So it's real. And we just have to do it. That's all there is to it. We have to do it. So I challenge you to pick something from this list and start doing it today. Please, not next Monday. Not tomorrow either, today. Pick something from this list, start doing it today. And then maybe you do that for a week or 2 weeks. And then you're like, okay, let's add another thing from that list, right? And so on and so on. And I promise you, even if you only do one thing from this list, but you do it consistently, you'll still be better for it, even if you don't do all the things on the list. Okay, so add what you can and stay consistent with it. Stay consistent with it. You are not going to see results in 3 days. Just like anything else in life, if you want the reward, you have to put in the work. And this, unfortunately, I have to say the dirty word of work, because that's what being diligent is. That's what being intentional is. It's putting in the work for yourself. It is investing in yourself. So we got to spend our time one way or another. We might as well spend it feeling better, right, ladies? So I hope that this will help. I hope that I hear from you guys, 2 weeks from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, saying that this or that helped you reduce that stress and that you can feel a little more calm and a little more grounded, even in your 40s and beyond. So I hope this helps. I truly do. And please share this with every woman you know. Please. We can all use as many tools in our tool belt as possible on how to manage and navigate being the age that we are. And even for younger women, teach the habits even earlier. Start instilling these into your daughters and nieces and the girls that you know who are younger, or maybe it's coworkers. I mean, starting those habits now, that's really going to benefit them instead of trying to start new habits, 2 decades later, right? It's just easier if it becomes part of your life as soon as possible. So I hope this helps. As always, thank you so much for spending this part of your day with me. If you want more resources, everything is at carlajoywellness.com. Please subscribe, like, all the things if you're watching me on YouTube. And if you could leave me reviews and comments, all those kind of things really support the show. It helps me grow. It helps me reach more people. And it helps me continue to bring you this free content every single week. So pay that forward. share, share, share. Again, I'm always open if you need, some guidance, you have questions, concerns, you have a topic that you'd like to, have me cover in the future. At Carla Joy Wellness on every form of social media. You can email me at carlajoywellness@gmail.com. Pretty much everywhere, right? So I hope that we can continue to just reach more people and empower each other, right, ladies? So if you're not already in the Joy Circle, get your booties over to the Joy Circle. We have our next challenge starting in 2 weeks, I believe. Actually, when this airs, it'll only be 1 week for our August. I can't believe it's August already coming up. Okay. Our August challenge will be coming. If you don't know, the Joy Circle is a wonderful community of women. It's my newest community. We just launched back in the spring, so we're just getting started, and it's so much fun. We do ladies' nights where we do some kind of a workshop together, and we do like prizes and trivia and fun stuff like that. We also have a monthly challenge with goodies in there, and then we have like weekly accountability posts. We set goals with each other. We check in with each other. We support. We encourage. It is a very positive, safe place. So, if you're something you're working on with yourself and you just want a support system, or if you just want to come be a cheerleader for women who need that support system, where we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you in the Joy Circle. That is also all the information there on my website. Again, carlajoywellness.com, and then just go to the Joy Circle page. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you again for joining. And until next time, as always, keep finding your joy one sip at a time.